thank you so much for
Are
coming
you
on.
kidding? This is you've been on the Tonight. You have been the star of the Tonight Show for 5 years.
That's right. Thank you very much.
You
It's a big
are You know, we're at the piano. It's perfect for, you know what I'm doing now? This is called noodling.
Oh, it's like lounge.
You know what I mean by noodling?
fun, yeah.
Well, you're just kind of, as we
conversation?
speak,
It's like a Playboy After Dark
kind of,
type of
exactly,
humor
very
type
cool,
thing.
yeah, very cool, yeah.
When did you first...
Come on in, Barbie Benton's on her way.
Look who's here, look who's here.
Right,
Oh, my
yeah,
goodness.
so I'll be noodling. Well, if you mind, I'm just going to noodle as you're
So you
noodling.
noodling. I'll just...
Yeah.
Lay like
What are you
David
drinking?
I'm
Like a
just having
scotch?
I'll
Get this
have
man a scotch.
Scotch on the rocks, thank you
Rocks,
very much.
yes.
Thank you, of course. When did you first start playing piano? You remember as a kid? Like, do you remember going like, oh, that's gonna be my thing?
Yes, my mother said to her neighbors and friends, that kid is going to take piano lessons over my dead body.
Really?
That's the kind of mother I had.
Is that right?
And I thank her to this day because I studied classical piano from the age of 6 all through high school.
Really?
And then, I gave it up once I went to college. But yes, I studied classically.
What made you get out in college? You just go like...
I don't know. I thought there would be too much to do in college. You know, you have to buckle down and get to work. And so I gave up. You know, I no longer had a rock band. I played high school, all through high school with a rock band. Gave it all up, tried to settle down, become an academic of some sort. I got so sad and depressed. And then I started playing a little bit, and after the first year, cheered up right away.
A little, yeah,
and I said,
a little rock and roll, yeah.
I gotta do music. I think I gotta at least try.
I think the first time I know you from is Saturday Night Live.
That's right. I did the first 5 years of Saturday Night Live. I was at yes, indeed. Now I'm talking about the original cast of Chevy Chase, Gilda Radner.
Yes.
All the greats,
Belushi.
Garrett Morris, Belushi, Dan Aykroyd. Oh, indeed. The classic people, Jane Curtin, Lorraine Newman.
Do you have any favorite moments from that? I know everyone probably
Well,
asks
you know, I used to, I became a writer of special musical material, and I used to write musical stuff for the cast. And you remember when Billy Murray used to do his lounge?
Nick the
Lounge
Dude,
Singer.
I remember you from that, yeah.
So I would not only appear in it as the pianist, but I used to be
like
a part
Star Wars.
Exactly.
Talking about Star Wars. Talking that crazy.
Don't let them in. And I wrote these are my lyrics for the bridge. And hey, how about that nutty Star Wars bar? Thank you very much. I wrote that. Who can believe those creatures in there? I think I wrote that too.
How about that nutty Star Wars bar?
Thank you very much. Because
love
everybody in town was talking, well, did you see the Star Wars bar? That's what everybody used to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh,
of course.
You know, that music would play. Yeah, well, that was, I'm just getting warmed up.
But then you went from there, and then, but you went on to SNL, but then I realized that you were friends with Marty Short and Gilda from the Godspell
This
show.
is crazy, yeah. We all met in Toronto in 1972. We were all about 22 years old. And there was a Canadian version of the New York show called Godspell. Casting in Toronto, and Steve Schwartz, the composer, he's the guy who wrote Wicked. It's running on Broadway now forever.
Yeah, of course.
He was up in Toronto casting, and he cast all the funniest people in town. He cast Martin Short. He cast Eugene Levy. He cast Andrea Martin, Gilda Radner,
Imagine that.
Victor Garber from Alias, Dave Thomas from SCTV. This was our company. And then in the auditions, I was playing for a couple of girlfriends of mine who were auditioning for him, and Stephen Schwartz said, I want to talk to that piano player. And he said, can you play the rest of the auditions? Because you seem to know a lot of songs. And at the end of the day, he said, do you think you could get a band together and conduct the show? And I was in show business. And that's how it happened.
Yeah.
And I'm still, yes, indeed. Thank you.
You ride that great line that not many people love, comedy and music, and you're an idol to me and a lot of people, but because I love both. And you're just, I mean, you were in Spinal Tap. You're Artie Fufkin.
I got to be Artie Fufkin in Spinal
Yes!
Tap. Yes, thank you. One of my hits. Thank you for remembering.
No, please.
One of my hits.
But then you went on to be a sidekick and band leader for David Letterman.
Well, that was just, and you know, David, when he. Thank you for remembering. When David, when I went in for my first meeting with him, he said, you know, I used to see you on SNL doing those Bill Murray Lounge sketches.
Yeah.
That's where he noticed me. I think that may have been what got me the job was just, you know, my work with Billy and those things.
And do you remember being in this studio, in this building?
Absolutely, coming in here. I remember how we come in the basement now.
Yeah, exactly.
It reminded me of the day that we had the big Sonny and Cher reunion on Letterman. Do you remember that? They hadn't been together, and they sang "I Got You, Babe" for the first time.
Yes.
And afterwards, I'm down in the basement, and there was no limousine for me or my band. We're trying to get out to California for a rehearsal the next morning. I know Questlove knows what I'm talking about because they're always on a flight. And the limo company just flaked and there was no car. And Sonny comes out, Sonny Bono, he says, "Paul, what's the matter?" I said, I don't know how we're going to get to the airport. There's no car. He says, "Take my car, I'll go with Cher." I said, "What?" Yeah, Cher's had like 15 hairdressers and 3 trainers with her, you know.
Yeah.
And Chastity's there. No, he actually pushed me into the limousine. "Take my car."
And saved
that
the day
was
for
Sonny
you.
Bono.
Hey,
you know,
that's a great story.
Yeah. I got you, babe. That's what Sonny said.
On and on and on. I said, and it's on and on and on.